Edna Evans, Shadow Eater, One Angry Pagan. Okay. There's a lot of bad feeling about Labour right now. And I can see why. The problem is I also sense shenanigans here from both the SNP and the Tories, and this is being fully blamed on Labour. I'm at this point. I'm at a point where I'm like, calling for a ceasefire is pointless. You can have a go at me in the comments for this if you like, but I almost feel like it's like calling for a ceasefire isn't for them, it's for us to make us feel better. Wouldn't it be better to be, instead of calling for a ceasefire, be calling for the halting of this sale of weapons to Israel? You know, cancel trade relations with Israel until such time as they stop. Like, material differences. Instead of calling for a ceasefire, which the government, which the dialects of Skaro, you know, the government of Israel and the IDF aren't going to fucking listen. I think this is a bit pointless. And we've ended up in a political row over procedure about a motion that won't materially affect anything. I just so things are in perspective here. I had a lot of arguments against Labour tonight, and it's possible that those arguments are valid. But for me, like on all sides, this is being played as a political football. And yes, that means the SNP too. They're not perfect. They're not perfect Peters in this fucking, or perfect Percy's in this fucking picture here. And no, I don't give a fuck. All right, I've backed. Like if you actually look through my channel, you'll see just how often I've backed the SNP in the past, and there's quite a lot. You know, I'm not like ideologically speaking, I'm not actually against the SNP. But it all comes back to the fact that this is all over something, over a motion that won't materially affect anyone. This won't help the people of Gaza. Calling for a ceasefire isn't going to help the people of Gaza. And it alarms me that people are willing to shit on Labour, call them red Tories at the expense of the country, on the back of something that, materially speaking, does fuck all. Just so we, again, just so we all got perspective here. I'm very angry. And I'm angry with all parties right now. And that's with Labour, the Tories, and the SNP for playing games over this. A big part of me is shouting at me saying that all this calling for a ceasefire is sanctimonious bullshit. done so we can be made to feel better. Now, I am not into the whole selfish thing. I like, people have had to tell me to be selfish in the past, and still do have to tell me to be selfish, because I hate selfishness. And this is kind of selfish. Like, this is being done to make us feel like we're good guys. Like, we're good guys. Like, we're on the side of the... Yeah, like, that's all well and good, but what material difference is it making? And if it isn't making any material difference, then what is the fucking point? You could say this about me doing my YouTube channel, but, you know, a material difference for me is changing people's minds. The difference here is that, like, the UK telling Israel to stop, no matter how united we are, isn't going to do shit. We need to bring stuff forward that actually affects them. Affect trade deals. Make it so that they can, you know, effectively, you know, make it so they can effectively do diplomacy. Not this pandering around the edges. Oh, we need to call for a ceasefire. Call for a ceasefire. You need a ceasefire. Over half the world is calling for a ceasefire. Israel have not listened. And are not going to. And it is so frustrating to see us get this distracted so close to the election. We need Labour in government, and I'm not going to accept the bullshit of, you know, the last Labour government. You're talking about old politics. No, like, the last time Labour were in government before Blair, where they were actively able to affect change, was the 50s, the late 40s, early 50s. Yeah. And then it was Blair. You know, that was a big jump in time. Blair wasn't exactly fully trusted, you know. I really despair at the left in this country. I despair. I've been starting to feel more optimistic over the last 6 months, and over the last 2, it's just gone to shit. Someone needs to sit down. Someone needs to really actually talk to me and explain to me why, like, constantly having a go at Labour is a good thing to do when they aren't even in government yet. And not from an emotional side of things either. Actually, from a material, a material side of things. What, like, difference do you think that's going to make? So all in all, bit of a shitty evening. Bit of a shitty evening. It's been one angry pagan. Shadi Wita. Blessed Thursday, everyone.